Hey guys, this is Nikki.
This is Sam.
Welcome back to So What? What's Next?
I spent the bag on the bundle. Turn around and take a flip and make it double. Listen, baby, with me you ain't never gotta struggle. I'm in the game 650, catch a triple double. Watch it tumble, tumble, watch it tumble. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. This is coming and keep on tumbling. Watch it tumble, tumble, watch it tumble. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. This is coming and keep on tumbling.
Well, hey Sam, how are you?
We are here, Nikki. People do not know what it took to get us here at this moment right now. This is major. So What's Next podcast is back.
Man, we had to get it out the mud and out the technology.
They just don't know. They
You
just
know-
do not know. This was supposed to happen, a month ago?
You know what, Sam? I've learned, over the last couple of years that things they happen when they're supposed to happen, right?
That's right.
So even though we've been trying to get this out for a month or so, now is the perfect time to get it out. So I'm not complaining, just happy to be with my favorite co-host again.
Hey, and it's great to see you again. I'm a little upset though, because me and the cat didn't make an appearance to check my hairline out today. So
no, but she do know the hairline is healthy, Sam. She knows that.
She does know that.
She know the hairline is healthy, man. And a quick shout out to our friends, our peers, the listeners. We want to definitely, thank you guys for being patient with us. Our intention was to, break this out in different seasons, which we did. But different life events have happened over the last couple of weeks and months, and we appreciate your support, reaching out, asking us when we're coming back, things of that nature. So we just want to say thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for checking in on us. Where would we be without you guys, right?
Right.
So we appreciate you, and we're ready to kick off season 2 with some great topics, some great things for, sports, politics, pop culture, and a whole bunch of other shit you won't care about in a couple of days or so. So, one of the things that I want to kick off with here, Sam, is our Black Spotlight segment. So what do you have for us this week?
So today on our Black Spotlight, and I chose this one specifically because it's a lot of revisionist history going on in the world today. So I wanted to spotlight Mia Morgan. And people are asking, who the hell is Mia Morgan? Mia Morgan is the fictional character in The Best Man Wedding who married Morris Chestnut.
Where are we going with it? Okay, you know what? Go. Keep going.
Can we just talk about how Mia Morgan bagged Taye Diggs and Morris Chestnut and got Morris Chestnut to forgive her, marry her, and got them to still be best friends at the end. And I think that's a hell of a, Mia Morgan crawled so the women in 2021 could run. You know what I'm saying?
Could sprint. Not run, but sprint. Mia Morgan is an icon. We speak her name. I didn't know where we were going with this. I promise you. Okay, I didn't know where we were going with this, but I see you're setting the tone extremely early.
Mia Morgan sat back, watch her have a great watch her have a great college career, hit his homeboy, never said nothing. Like at no point in time when he was like, yo, I'm ready to get married, or hey, when we move into this big ass house, or hey, I'm about to name my best man, did she ever think maybe I should tell him I probably had sex with his best friend?
You know what? We're having major revisionist history here because we're just going to overlook that Lance was, cheating on her left and right. We're going to overlook the fact that Harper also kept this secret from his best friend. We're going to place all the blame on Mia. That's what we're going to do?
No. Those people got the blame in the movie, but nobody ever even talks about Mia's part.
Because Mia's an angel. Mia's an icon.
I mean, Mia, the dude's standing right next to me. Can you say something, please?
Mia Morgan, we speak your name.
All praise to Mia Morgan.
Salute, queen. Salute, queen.
She won And I'm not gonna say she went 41, 15, and 15, but it was pretty damn close.
Yeah, she definitely put up 30, 12, and 10. She definitely got a good triple double. We
And it
appreciate
was a
good
really,
stats.
really efficient day for her. I mean, really efficient. It came in like 32 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like not a lot of minutes. She didn't, you know what I'm
You know,
saying?
she even took a little break. They took her out, at the beginning of the second quarter, so she can get her
Yeah.
second win. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Mia Morgan, icon, legend, queen.
Black
So
spotlight.
since we're getting off on that tone, let's jump into, so what's next, right? Like,
Right.
this is our favorite part of the program where we have a topic, we discuss some things, and then figure out what are we going to do next, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Sam, I'm going to throw a good hypothetical out here to you. We're in the 30-year age group here. So we've had the privilege of seeing our friends, in relationships, having kids. We've seen our friends, get married and divorced, right? At this point. So kind of want to get into something that's recently come up a couple of times here over the last year and a half, personally. So you've been invited to your ex girlfriends or your ex situationships wedding.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
Okay.
you've been invited to someone who you've been intimate with, whether it was, for a few weeks or for a long expansive decade or period of time, give or take. That was kind of specific, wasn't it? So you've been involved in intimate with this person, and now they are getting married. Now they are taking that next step, and they're going to jump the broom. And they actually extended invite. You are now invited to attend this wedding. Thoughts here on number one: are you going and attending? Number two, if you're not going, are you just going to send a gift and a congrats? If you go, do you show up with a date? Do you explain to your date who this person is? Kind of let's walk into, you've been invited to your ex's wedding. What's next?
All right. So for this particular hypothetical, right? Let's just say we are single.
But I have a theory that no one is ever 100% single. But let's say for tax filing purposes, you identify as single.
I'm single. All right.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. I have a homegirl that we did have relations, and we was in a relationship, right? And I have actually met her dude now. I've been to the house and everything.
You've been sitting on that man couch?
Yeah, like we're cool. Like he knows. Like, I mean, this is all up front, because me and her relationship was a lot. I would say it was a lot more.
Physical?
We was friends. Well, yeah, it was physical, but I mean,
let me let you finish.
We was friends first, though. We was friends for like 2 years. Then we got a relationship because we thought, oh, we like hanging around each other. We should be in a relationship. That shit was totally fucked up. Should have never done that. It's terrible. And and it took us a while to be friends again. Like, so we broke up, and it took us 5 years to actually be friends again. So we're cool. So she invited me to her wedding because of our relationship as friends. It'd be hard for me to tell her no. That'd be kind of tough for me. But I probably would ask her to have her man ask me or tell me it's okay before I would do something like that. To be honest with you.
Okay, so you're basically saying that you would entertain the thought of going only if, her man actually said he was cool with you being there. And if he said, hey, Sam, pull up, pull up to the nuptials.
Right. I would be okay. But if she said, I'm uncomfortable with asking him, or if he was like, I don't know, I wouldn't come. I wouldn't show up.
Because that lets you know right there that there's some question marks, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't know if I want, my future wife pull-ups pulling up. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want the bodies to be marching in.
People give specific hugs in those situations too. So you have to watch the vibe. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, you got to pick up on the energy. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't want to be uncomfortable on your day. You know what I'm saying? Nobody should be uncomfortable on their day. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And that's why I wanted to have the conversation because
But it is kind
I,
of odd though. Like,
yeah,
I think it depends on our relationship too, right? Like if we were just pulling up every now and then with each other and just kind of kicking it, and you invite me to a wedding, that's gonna be kind of weird if we don't have that type of bond.
type
You
of
know what I'm
vibe, right?
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So let's deep dive. So in what situation would you not pull up to an ex's wedding or a former flame's wedding?
Uh, if we just man, we would have to have a real relationship, like a real friendship, where we do still talk, and I met the dude, and we have like I don't know, man. That's really difficult when I really sit here and think about it. Because if I, as a man, I don't want your people pulling up, so I don't know how I would feel about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's weird. Now that I sit here and really think about it, but like I know in my homegirl situation, me and her, I feel like she probably would invite me to a wedding, and I wouldn't have a problem coming
Right, because of the relationship.
because of the
So
relationship. Like I've met him. You know what I'm saying? He's met me. Like we've broken bread at the same table and drink. You know what I'm saying? And we, you know,
that's cute that you got a chance to bond with your Eskimo brother.
yeah, special relationships.
I like that. That's some grown stuff with your
Right. You
Eskimo
know,
brother. Let's
and I don't. It's
look.
funny,
We're gonna protect the innocent, but I admire that queen.
but it's yes, you know what? Now that I think about it, she kind of winning, ain't she? But but it's crazy because when it happened, I didn't because I guess because we had been in our relationship for so long that I never really thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really thought about it. So now that we sit here talking about it, and then I bought the best man wedding with Mia.
Yeah,
Yo,
you didn't know that
yo,
it was gonna line up the way it did you?
I was coming on the podcast to be funny today, and now I'm sitting here looking at
Yeah,
you.
but the jokes are joking right now.
The jokes are joking, and it's on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. So, there have been instances where I have been invited to an ex's wedding. Um, and
But hold on, Nikki, before
yeah,
you go there, I think
here we
if you're
go.
a woman and you go to the ex's wedding, like I think it depends on how you pull up. Like, are you finna pull up in like Beyonce 24 karat gold, or are you gonna just kind of relax a little bit, be Alicia Keys with the turban on? You know what I'm saying? Like, how
Oh,
we
you know
pulling
what I
up?
say? Man, I can't remember the girl who tweeted it, but she was like, 90% of the time I am a bum. I'm in sweatpants, head wraps, do rags,
Hmm.
sweatshirts. But that 10% go crazy. And my
Right,
10% goes bananas.
right,
Like
right.
my 10% is really, really, really wild. So I make it a habit of when I do go to a wedding, I always wear black.
Okay, okay, all right,
So
all right.
no matter whose wedding it is, I wear black. Now, if you mad at the way it fits or how I pull it off, then that sounds like a personal problem. But I make a decision to always wear black because that way I'm not wearing a pop of color. I'm not wearing anything that necessarily takes away the attention from the occasion.
Right, 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 right,
Because I would want someone to respect me on my day as well.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, that
So
makes sense.
so so the previous person that I dated, we were together for about 2 years, and then we ended up breaking up due to he moved to DC, and I was still in Atlanta, and at that time we weren't in the space to make that long-term commitment of cohabitation, right?
Right,
I didn't make sense for me to uproot and move my whole life from Atlanta to DC. And then, he was taking this high-ranking government job, and
right.
um, it just the stars weren't aligned for that. So, like you said with you and old girl, he and I stayed friends. But anytime he came into Atlanta or I was in DC, it went down, right?
Oh,
Like we link up, right? We link up, food, drinks, whatever, right? Because we're all adults here.
we are.
Um,
Oh, for the record,
so
for the record, this is not relationship advice. These are two single people talking about scenarios here.
honey, we live this life so you don't have to. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? We live this life so we can guide you on what
Right.
not to do.
Don't do this
Um,
to me.
But needless to say, when he hit me, he came to Atlanta and we linked up, and he was kind of like, I got something to tell you. I finally, I met someone, and we're gonna get married. And I was like, man, congratulations! Like, I'm so excited. Mind you, this is over appetizers, so I'm like, this is great. I really, I'm happy for you. I know this is what you want, kind of going down that whole path of high-fiving and handshaking. And, then he hit me with the, I would love for you to come. And I was like, yeah, I'll pull up to the wedding, but, you know, let's talk about some things, right? Because at this point, like, I know your family, I know your friends, I know your line brothers, I know these people.
Oh, you know the Line brothers too?
Yeah, like, I'm like that.
Okay.
So, me being there, if we're talking about it, obviously other people are going to talk about it.
Right.
So your future wife should know who I am.
Oh,
right?
So hold on. So you've never met the future wife?
No, I never met her.
Oh.
I had never met her. And then I even asked, does she know, like, because when you do a wedding, for those who have or have not been married, you go through the invite list, you have to put together a head count, and you have to include, your family members and things like that. And typically when those invitations go out, this is something you do with your other half, and you're inviting all these people. And if they know you and your family and your friends, and then a name like Nikki pops up and you've never mentioned a Nikki or anything like that, then the questions are going to come, oh, babe, who's Nikki? Right?
Yeah.
So how do you explain that? How do you walk through that? Right. And, I pretty much said, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. I'm just going to, slide you a wedding gift, shoot me the link for the registry, and we'll go from there. And, he felt some type of way about it. And I'm like, this is your day. Me not being there shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, my guy's he's towing a dangerous line.
But see, this is the thing with women. We think usually, 4 to 5 steps ahead, right? We're thinking of, okay, if we're going to invite this person, we need to start saying or mentioning this person X amount of time before, right? We need to start bringing up this person 4 to 6 months beforehand. Start laying the groundwork.
Yeah, like Rashad
we went to college. We went to college together.
Funny. Can't believe it. I just met him. I just seen his child. Look how old his kid is now. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, who is Rashad? Rashad is a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, some things need to start getting mentioned, start being thrown out there.
We used to work together. Oh, we did? Yeah, we did. Back in the day, we worked in the same division. You got to start. You got to start planting that seed. So when the time comes up,
and then when the friends come around, y'all remember Rashad? Because I seen his kid the other day ago on Facebook. They're a little older now in front of the wife. So that
looking just like him.
Yeah, so people can start, things start racing. Yeah.
Right, because by then you're checking all the boxes. So then it's kind of like, oh, Rashad's coming. Oh, okay. No, that's just Bay homeboy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one of those types of vibes, right?
I hope he bring his baby mama with him. That'd be nice. I never met her.
Oh, his girlfriend should be here. He's gonna bring a +1. Like, you got to start doing things like that. Whereas men are just like, oh, pull up. Like, no.
He sounds like he's a little half cocked. He sounds a little half cocked. Are you sure that he invited you, or was he like,
no,
it'd be nice
even though I declined. So even though at that moment when we were like talking over apps and drinks, I declined. I basically said, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good vibe. This is her day. Her family's going to be there. I don't want to be the question mark. I don't want to be the reason, 3-4 months from now.
You don't want her aunties assembling a meeting. You don't want a meeting to happen.
I don't want 3 to 4 months from now, you guys are rewatching your wedding video. And you're like, who's that? Who's that person? Right? Yeah. So you follow me. You feel me, right? So
I feel you on that.
So in that instance, I didn't go, but he actually did send me an invitation. I got an invitation in the mail to the wedding. And then at that point, I was kind of like, well, did he talk to her about me or whatever? And I just said, hey, at this point, I don't think it's smart. And in hindsight, I'm okay with that decision. And he and I are still very cordial now. It's nothing crazy. But in that instance, I just didn't want to be disrespectful. And even quiet as kept, I've been invited to another wedding
Wow.
that's coming up.
What did you say?
Um,
That juice is worth that squeeze.
the juice is worth the squeeze, honey. Know me. Um, so in that instance, it was kind of like, it wasn't even that person, like between me and that person, it's kind of like
Mhm.
an understood thing that I'm going to be there. Like I'm going
Right.
because our relationship supersedes anything from, that standpoint, right? I'm going to be there.
Mhm.
I think the funny thing was our mutuals hitting me up, asking me, was I going?
Right.
Right? So
Everybody
our
got to get in on this
mutuals,
drama. Everybody got to get on this high
yeah,
stakes
our
drama.
mutuals are kind of like, yo, number one, did you know? And then number two, like, you're gonna go? And I'm like, like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I go? And they're like, wow, you're really gonna go. And here's the thing, we're all adults. Everybody is someone's ex, everybody has
That's
dated
true.
someone else,
That's true.
right? So at our big age, in my mind, this shouldn't really be an issue. Like I was tweeting the other day, like, if I ever loved you, I'll always love you,
Right.
right? That
Mhm.
love may change in its capacity, that it may change in its energy, but it's there, right? So when I was kicking this around to my homegirls, women just have a different view because we go to the nth degree of the things that can go left.
Mhm.
Whereas when I talk about it with my homeboys, they be like, okay, cool. So where we going after the wedding? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
like
I think I think with women are kind of catty to begin with, right? It's like always a natural cattiness there. And my mentor said that women are hoarders. So that they hoard everything to themselves. And he was like, so I think when you talking about how women feel towards and then how guys feel, I think guys are kind of like, oh, we all cool, we all friends. But women see it as like, well, why is this person even still around? You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm supposed to be the everything. I'm everything. Some women don't even want you to have friends. Never
And
mind a
that's the
fucking,
thing.
you
That's
know.
what I tell people. I like when people say, "Oh, my better half or my other half," and I'd be like, "See, let me tell you something. You better come to me whole,
Right, right.
right? I am not here to complete you. I am not here. If anything, I'm here to enhance and complement you. I am
Right.
not here to complete you. You better come to me as a whole person. Like that's how we operate on this side. Now, here's another thing, right? My girlfriend, when I told her about the situation, she was kind of like, I was like, yeah, he's one of my best friends. And she's like, well, his wife is his best friend now. And I was like, you know what? In a certain capacity, yeah, right? Like, I don't have any doubt that the person you marry is going to be the closest person to you,
I
right?
disagree with that, but
But
well, no,
but 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 let me say this.
I don't disagree with it. That will be the closest person to you. I don't disagree.
Right. So you got to, that's why I'm saying you got to let me finish because
Okay.
that person is going to be the closest
Right.
person to you. They live with you. Like
Yeah.
literally they are by your side day in and day out, right?
Right.
I said, but there's also a capacity where I'm not just going around calling people's husbands my best friends
Right. Right. Right.
because I know
Right.
that perception to the wife or to the significant other is going to go left, right?
Mhm.
Because like you just said, women are the ones who want to be the everything, the best friend, the one that you come to for everything. But I will be perfectly honest and tell you that a lot of my married homeboys, like when I tell you those are some of the strongest relationships I have
Right.
because there's just a different perspective, right? From an age perspective, from a coupling perspective, from, whether they're on their first, second, third marriage or whatever the case may be. There's so much insight and wisdom that we have that we share
Mhm.
on a strictly platonic level that helps us to see things more clearly, right?
Right. You
Like I
can't.
tell a lot of people, I'm literally on the wife's side. You can hear my homeboys basically be like, did you talk to her? Like, why are you on her side or why are you taking
Yeah.
her angle? Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be with this man. That man's not trying to be with me. So we can literally be friends
Right.
and share secrets and share insights or even our feelings that
Right.
necessarily you wouldn't feel comfortable sharing with your wife only because of the perception or the feedback or even the just the tension that can come from saying the 100% honest truth.
Right. And you know, the crazy thing about that is, like, because I was with this girl that was kind of that way, that she was like, she want to know everything. You know, whatever I'm thinking, what are you thinking about? What are you doing? How you know, what do you smell when you go to sleep at night? She was like, want to know every goddamn thing. And um, one one day I made a mistake of telling her how I felt about certain things. Like I was having this thing where whenever time she had asked me some shit, I would give her the direct answer. And it ruined the relationship because women don't necessarily need to know everything about you, especially as a man. Like, you know, a woman want to feel secure with you. So if you tell her everything you're afraid of, you know what I'm saying? She gonna
Now,
lose a little
now
bit of
it's a
that security.
weakness. Now they
Now
look at
you're a
you as
weakness
weak.
now. Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't
Now,
be
now you
vulnerable
all
like that.
meek. You a
Yeah,
meek person now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Then she on the internet calling you gay as fuck. When she mad. But
Y'all, is it gay to share your feelings with your friends?
yeah, you know, that we
Y'all,
have
is
to, you
it gay?
know,
Is it
it's
gay for a man to tell you how he really feels?
he told me he really like Bahama Mamas. I think he gay as fuck now, you know. So I
It just
mean,
goes totally left, right?
yeah.
And
So
I,
you can't.
I feel like as a partner, as a man, you should share important things in your life, right?
Right,
You should. There's some things that are just sacred, right? Like, if there's some childhood trauma, or if there's something that has, you got a promotion at work, or there's something positive going on, or something of that nature. Yeah, those things are understood to be, shared. Like, I would want to be the first person that my person comes to
right,
share those things, right? um I also know that even when I deal with my person, that I have to be very careful in my responses, because the things that he deems important are not necessarily important
hmm
in my world or in my space,
right.
right? But recognizing that these things are important to him then makes me say, "Oh, tell me more. You just got, this
Yeah, yeah,
contract.
yeah.
How'd you go about doing it? And this, that, and the other." So now he's talking, because one thing I love is I don't mind listening to people talk and ramble on and on and on if they are an expert in their field, right? Anything
Right,
that somebody's passionate about, I'm willing to listen, because I'm going to learn something too.
right.
But as far as, if he come home and tell me that, he had a tough day at work. Okay, cool. Let's kind of unpack that if you want to,
Right,
right?
right. Because
Let's
everybody,
unpack
because everybody's not
that.
like me. If I had a tough day at work, I don't want to talk about that shit. I literally try to leave that shit there. So if I
Leave
have
it
to
at
come,
work.
yeah. So if I have to come back home and you want me to unpack that shit, now it's like I'm starting a whole other shift. I don't want to discuss that shit.
Right.
Like if you see me go straight to the bottle, straight to the tub, like that's just what it is that day. All right.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind my person sharing their feelings or their emotions with me. That's not a
Right.
problem. That's not an issue. It's, do you want to?
Right.
Right. And that's why I said you got to come to me whole. You can't
hmm
come to me needing
Right.
me to complete you, because I'm a work in progress myself, right? So, ultimately, back to the macro point of women wanting to be the everything, there's nothing wrong with that. I also feel that if, as a man, you're going to have your women friends around, or if you have women friends, you need to make sure your significant other is fully aware of who this person is.
Yeah.
Because, at this point, if I'm invited to a wedding, why haven't you ever come to any of the barbecues? Why haven't you come
Right.
to any of our other functions
Yeah.
and things of that nature? But you pulling up to my wedding, thanks for the gift, girl, but who are you?
Yeah, and
Like,
if you can't answer the phone next to your significant other with the person that's calling you, then you need to examine why you can't do that.
and why you would want to invite them to your wedding.
Exactly. So, I
Right
mean,
now, I'm not saying you can't invite an ex. I'm just saying, in certain situations, when is it appropriate to attend?
mhm,
Right? Just because an invite is extended doesn't mean that it has to be accepted.
right, right. Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's
But
true.
needless to say, I'm pulling up to the to this wedding. I'm pulling up, honey.
That was a
I
20-minute that was a 20-minute segment right there, Nikki, for you to say
just to say that I'll be there.
I'm pulling the fuck up.
A 20-minute segment to let you know that I will be in the place
I'm pulling the
with an
fuck up.
amazing gift.
This is the message. Listen to the pod, you'll know I'm pulling the fuck up. I
And
said on the pod.
it's a destination joint too. So, like like, why would I not pull up? You gonna give me water and sand?
Oh, Lord have
Nice weather?
mercy.
Yeah,
And
I'm pulling up.
you enjoy the festivities. Are you gonna take a
Me
plus
and
one?
my person pulling up. We gonna hashtag and everything in
You
that
taking a
hole.
plus one? You plus
Yeah,
one?
I'm gonna take a +1.
Okay.
So,
Right.
story time. Quick story. So I was invited to a wedding. This is when I'm a much better person now. But back in the day when I wasn't as great as I am now,
Right.
I was invited to a wedding by a previous flame. And long story short, at that point, I didn't have as much coof in class as I do now.
Right.
And when he invited me to the wedding, I was like, okay, cool, I'll pull up. It is what it is, right? And as I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of like, oh, should I pull up? Shouldn't I pull up? I'm having kind of that back and forth debate. But as I'm going down this path, I'm literally saying to myself, oh, you know what'll make it easy? Let me just bring a date. Right? Because if I show up with a date, then it's kind of like, oh, she got somebody. It ain't nothing. It's not obvious. It's not eye catching. It's not jarring. Right.
Right.
So I hit him up and was like, hey, thank you for extending the invite. I got the link, but I didn't get an option for a +1. I said, can I add a +1? And that fool was like, you want to bring a man to my wedding? And I was like,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because you invited me. And I said, other people I know who are going, they got a +1, but I didn't get a +1. And they was like, well, we got to pay by head and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, cool. How much is it? How much is it? Right? Because I want to bring, a date. And they was like, you're going to pay for this N-word to come? And I was like, why is this a problem? You're marrying a whole woman. You're about to have a whole wife.
Hey,
you're telling me that it's a head count issue. I'm basically saying, hey, I'll pay for the extra plate.
Yeah.
Just say you don't want me to come with a dude, right? And he was like, I think that's disrespectful for you to come to my wedding with a dude. That's the disrespectful part. Not the fact that you invited me to pull up. But the fact that I want to bring a date, like, come on, bro.
Nikki, I've already said it. That married people be oversaturating the dating market. I've already said this. I mean that shit. They really do oversaturate the fucking dating pool. It's out of control with married people. Because I had this homeboy. We was at this job. I was at this job, and everybody on the job was married. You know what I mean? Everybody's married, and I was the supervisor at the job, so a lot of young ladies was working on the job, and they liked me because I was single. But the married dudes is getting mad, talking about, hey, I liked her first, and I was talking to her, and I had bought her lunch. I'm like, yo, my guy, you got a wife, my guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what's left. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to go first, bro. It was out of control. Married people saturate the market. They got 2 incomes, and they got babysitters. So they already oversaturating the market. Like, it's just not right.
It's crazy.
The game is the game. I don't get mad at the game.
The game is the game, period.
But they do oversaturate the market.
They do, but I'm not tripping. But needless to say, I didn't go to that wedding.
What did he thought was gonna happen? Well, he thought you gonna get her like Dwayne and in a different world or something. Like,
so how you just said a few minutes ago that women are possessive? So are men. Men are very, very possessive, right? It's like, even if I don't want you, I don't want anyone else to have you.
Yeah.
Right?
Egos get involved.
Ego is very, very involved. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, hey, you can pull up and see me celebrate with my new thing, but don't you dare show up with another man. So, I've even been to different functions. That we'll save that.
Okay, I was about to
we'll
say,
come back to
we
that.
about that. We really
we'll come back to that.
It's gonna be
I got to remember this is a podcast and not therapy. Sam, you almost got it out of me. Almost. But yeah,
close. I was gonna have to end the show after that one. I was like, well,
yeah, we would have to go back and edit that out because that would have been too specific.
Yeah.
But no, man, like I said, it's a destination joint, so I'm so happy, and it'll be during the summertime too. So I'm gonna pull up. Me and my person gonna show up with some matching lubes and whatnot, matching red bottle. But needless to say, talking about destinations and whatnot, we are in the thick of summer. We had the opportunity to celebrate some things here personally, professionally between the both of us. But one of the things that I wanted to pull up about is vacations, right?
Now that we're able to
Listen, it's that time of year, honey.
Oh,
I'm talking about, vacations, sneaky links, staycations, even with all the melee that's happening at airports and on airplanes, what are some of your favorite travel destinations for the Bay, for the Boo, for the sneaky link, for your significant other, for that special person? Where,
well,
where you
this
where
is
you
this
hitting
is
up since? Where have you been and where are you going?
hold on, Nikki. First of all, I haven't been anywhere because I go to work all the time and I have my
Oh,
kid all the
oh,
time.
oh, that's what we doing. That's what. Okay, okay, my
That is
bad,
exactly what we're doing.
my bad.
I don't know what
So,
you think this
you sit
is.
still. You've been sitting still. Okay, okay, okay,
I work 7 days a week and I have my kid 8 days a week.
okay, boss.
All right. But if I did have free time, a couple places I like to go surrounding Jacksonville is St. Augustine is dope, right? St. Augustine's nice. You can get a nice little place off the water.
Mm-hmm.
Daytona's nice. Get a nice little place off the water. But I actually like Ponte Vedra. I think Ponte Vedra, you don't have to worry about running into nobody in Ponte Vedra if you live in Jacksonville. Like that's where you
Yeah,
go.
Ponte Vedra is a really good location. Good golfing too.
Golfing, you can get your golf in. You get his or her
Mm-hmm.
massages. You can, I mean, valet. That is the place to go. You don't have to worry about nobody walking up on you. Nobody cousin, nobody auntie, nobody mama, nothing. That's where you go. Ponte Vedra's the spot.
Yeah, if you had to get out of Florida, where are you going?
So if I had to get out of Florida, where am I going? That's tough. So I think Tennessee will be the spot for me. Nobody in Jacksonville's going to Tennessee.
Ooh.
Nobody in Jackson. And I like Memphis. It got history, right? Memphis got some history there. Got the barbecue there. I think Memphis is a nice spot. I'm not too much of a fan of the Carolinas like everybody else is. Maybe I haven't been since I've gotten older though. Maybe I need to try, older. But I'm not a fan of the Carolinas like everybody else is because I know that's a big place for people to kind of venture off to the Carolinas. I'm not a big fan of the Carolinas.
Yeah, so those are good places. I like that. And I do love the Carolinas. I love Tennessee. I love Pigeon Forge. Pigeon Forge is one of my favorite places. We typically go there, do the cabin trips like in the fall and the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite cabins is $1 Million View. Check it out.
May not be able
Um
to afford that one, Nikki. That says $1 million view. You said
$1 Million View is the name of the cabin.
they got a
Don't
hundred
do
thousand
me.
dollar view.
And all you see is the backside of the mountain.
Right.
Um, but no, $1 Million View just has the best view. Like it has the best view of down looking down on Pigeon Forge. So I love going to LA. That's one of my favorite places to go. California is something about Cali that just grounds me. Like when you're
what
there, you
part?
never
What
want to
part?
leave.
What part of Cali?
I love going to San Fran. I love going to LA. Basically I like Dana Point. I love Orange County.
Okay.
I love the marinas there. I love the boating. I love the yachting. I love, being able to actually go and get into the Pacific Ocean. Just got back from Cabo in May. That was a great experience. Did all the luxury dining and things. Cabo San Lucas is an amazing place. I can't tell you that I've ever had a bad experience there. Um, Shout out to the Waldorf Astoria and the Viceroy. Um, then up and coming, we have St. Lucia. St. Lucia has been one of the places I wanted to tackle on my list for a while. So I'll be going to St. Lucia. Um, Going to get in some local travel as well. Going to go back down to Florida and actually spend some time with family down there. But one of my favorite getaways,
Mm-hmm.
is Nassau. Love Nassau, Bahamas.
The Nassau Bahamas. Okay, yeah, I
Yep.
plan on going there in August. I think
Yeah, you got to stay at the
August.
Atlantis. The
Yeah,
Atlantis
that's why I want to stay in Atlantis. Yeah.
is amazing. I got a chance to go to the Michael Jackson room. There's this particular suite in the Atlantis where like you have to be of course of some celebrity stature.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oprah's rented it out, Michael Jackson's rented it out, other
Wow.
celebrities have rented it out, and it's amazing. Got to do that. I love Nassau, love Jamaica, love Jamaica. You can't go wrong with Jamaica, whether it's Montego Bay, Kingston, whether it's Ocho Rios. And then there's also, I think it's called Whitehall. So there's a beautiful resort on the opposite side of the island, and it's Whitehall, Jamaica. It's either Whitehall or White House.
Never heard of it.
And it's the best kept secret because a lot of people haven't heard of it because it's almost like 45 minutes to an hour away from Montego Bay.
Mhm.
I mean, because Jamaica's a small island,
Right.
but yeah, I had the best time there, like, because it's the best kept secret. So when you're there, you're not running into a lot of people, and if you do, it's kind of like an insider's kind of like a nod and wink type of thing, like, oh, you know about this place too, type of vibe.
Okay.
So that's, I like to go there when I don't want to be seen by people, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to Montego Bay. Like, I'll be going on just a random ass trip, and then I'll
Mhm.
run into people that I know back in the States
That's the
in
worst
Montego
thing.
Bay, Jamaica.
That's the
And
worst thing
it's
ever.
crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I was talking, of course, with the girls again and asking them about, some of the places that they're going. And it's so funny to me where, they're like, okay, we're doing all these staycations and we need to get out and get away. And I'm like, you got to do what makes you happy. So
Mhm.
if, staying here in Atlanta and y'all going maybe an hour out of the way or 2 hours out of the way and getting some good time in, that's what works, right? Like, I'm
Right.
just all about people maximizing their mental health right now and breaking away from, the everyday mundane, monotony
Right.
from work, family life, and all that other stuff, right? So
Yeah.
2020 took away a lot of our traveling opportunities, but I think we're doing a great job of making up for it in 2021 because everybody's vaccinated, everybody's out in these streets. But I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Even though I'm
Define everybody.
vaccinated, wait, listen, no. Even though I'm vaccinated, right, I still was wearing my mask. So when I
Yeah.
was down in Florida recently, right, I took my mask off
Mhm.
and I think I went in Target. I went in Target and I went into Publix, right? So as
Mhm.
I go in, I'm not wearing my mask. The very next day, Sam, my throat started aching a little bit. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Where's my elderberry? Where's my sea moss? Where's my black seed oil? And where's my mask? Because I was like, look, I do not want to get sick. I was like, even though I'm less likely to get sick or less likely to die, like, I
Right.
still don't want to get sick. I have plans. I have things to do, places to be, countries to go see. I gotta, I gotta be on it. So definitely looking forward to filling up my passport because my passport expires next year.
Right.
So we're gonna go ahead, knock these stamps out this summer, this fall, and then we'll be right into football season.
Oh man, I can't wait for football season. That's my traveling time. I can't wait. I can't wait till I get a certain financial status and babysitter status where I can start going to other college football games other than Florida State. Like I
Other
like
than
go.
Florida State, other
Yeah,
than making that 2 hour drive.
yeah. I want to go like the LSU Bama, game and like an Oklahoma Texas game. I want to do that one time. That's
Yeah,
something I really
yeah.
want to do.
Yeah, we're doing Bama, Texas A&M. I'm going
Oh,
to an
I
LSU
bet
game.
y'all are. I bet all of y'all are.
Don't do me. Don't do me. Don't. But you know what? I got to find a new sitter myself now because my sitter that I had is one of my good friends, her daughter, who happens to be, I call her my bonus baby or my bonus daughter. Um, and, she was an eighth grader and then she's a freshman in high school.
Oh,
And, because of COVID, she's been homeschooled, right? So
right,
she
right.
ain't been out. So I was looking at her the other day when she was over here babysitting. She's about to be a sophomore in high school. And she's tall. She has these long, beautiful legs and this like beautiful black curly hair and this pretty skin. And I'm just like, number one, wait a minute, stop growing up so fast on me.
Right.
And number two, you about to be in these streets because everything is open again,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to be in here on a Friday or Saturday night in here babysitting any
Nah,
kids.
probably
You're
not
going to want
gonna
to be
happen.
out, with
Probably,
your
yeah.
friends, thotting and bopping. So I'm on the lookout for a new babysitter because I just know my bonus baby, my love is going to be out in these streets. And now I'm gonna have to be over here off Camp Creek searching and trying to find her.
Yeah. You
Making
know,
sure she's going home or that she's with the people she say she with.
that's one of the reasons now why I can't actually go to the club in Jacksonville. It's because I got two little cousins that are now 19 and 20, and they're
Yeah.
kind of like they on the scene, and it's like,
Yeah.
I just can't like, it's just weird, man. It's like, okay, maybe I've gotten too old.
Right. Right. Because I don't. If I go out, Sam, number one, I don't do lines.
Right.
Right. So if
Right.
I gotta wait to get in, I'm not going. So I need to be on someone's VIP list. Number two, I need to be able to sit down.
Right.
So once I get in, I need to be able to sit down.
But that's the
And
worst
then
scenario for me though, because let's say I get into the club, right? I get in the club, I'm in the booth, a VIP, and then I see my little cousin.
now you can't enjoy yourself.
Now she could be like, "Oh, that's my cousin. I'm gonna come up there with you." Now she's up there with the rest of the wolf pack.
Yep. Now you on defense mode. You can't even drink because you got to stay sober in case you got to knock somebody out. Right.
Yeah, so it's like, just don't even put yourself in that situation. Like, so now if I go out to a club, I'm literally out of town now. I got to be like in Atlanta, Tallahassee, Tampa. Orlando not even safe. I'm pretty sure she'll pop up in Orlando. Pretty sure.
Yeah, like I said, I'm of the age where I don't do the club thing. I may go out for like a homecoming event. I may
Right.
go out, like I love Chastain Park, where they do like the concerts. They're like open. It's like an amphitheater. Like I'll do stuff like that all day. But you want me to go to Compound? You want me to go to Oak?
Right.
You don't want me to do that. I know you barking up the wrong tree if you asking me to do that at my big age.
But since we talking about barking up trees, they just made Juneteenth a holiday.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. So Juneteenth is now an official holiday. We're going to celebrate a holiday where we are now free people, but we can't teach about slavery in schools. Like, make it make sense. We can't.
Yeah.
You want us to celebrate a federal holiday acknowledging that slavery was a thing and that this is a day where we recognize Black people as free people, no longer enslaved, right?
Right.
But I can't even learn in American history that the American,
man, we teach so much weird shit in school.
I get so frustrated. I get so frustrated with the lack of logical thinking, right? The expectations are crazy. So first and foremost, I think you wanted to kind of touch on the point of what Juneteenth is. I'm gonna turn it over to you because I'm gonna say some words that we'll end up having to delete out the pod. But
no,
tell me.
Well, Juneteenth was actually Texas was the last state to actually free African Americans from slavery. I don't want to say the word free though. I want to say the word
acknowledge. Yeah, that's a good
the
word.
Abolishment of slavery.
Correct.
Right. That's more accurate, right? Acknowledge the abolishment of slavery. Yeah. So they was the last state to do it, and that happened on June 19th in this country. 2 years after Abraham Lincoln signed what is it?
Damn, the Emancipation Proclamation.
The Emancipation Proclamation. There we go. So now we're finally celebrating that. I thought that was kind of weird. I thought it was weird that it came after the Tulsa situation when President Biden actually acknowledged Tulsa.
The Tulsa massacre, right?
And then they signed that bill. I thought that was pretty big. I know a lot of people felt like, why are we talking about people? Like, I thought I was kind of like a liberal person, but I think fucking liberals are fucking weird now. I'm getting to a point with them where I'm starting to think they're like magma people, but on like the opposite spectrum.
Okay.
Nothing good. Like I don't care what happens, they're still pissed off about everything. Like it's like crazy as hell. But they was upset about him acknowledging the Tulsa. It was like, it's not enough. We need to cut checks right now. And I'm like, well, yeah, it'd be nice for them to cut a check. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't even had a president actually acknowledge slavery or any type of injustice done to Black people, like ever. Ever. So he's the first one to ever do that.
I follow.
So it does set the stage, I think, of federal intervention as far as making righting some wrongs. Hopefully it happened before those people from Tulsa actually pass away.
I want to get a better understanding of how reparations are being paid to other minority or marginalized groups except African Americans. And I know that's a topic for
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that topic.
yeah, I know that's one for another day, but it's just so weird that we have money to pay, descendants from Japanese descent from, from Pearl Harbor. We have the money to pay to Native American tribes. We have the money to pay to these different um again different marginalized people. I'm gonna stick with that. But when it comes to reparations for slavery, it's always we don't know where the money's going to come from. We don't know how we're going to do this, and how do we pay these people, and how does this happen, and how do we reconcile. And I shouldn't be responsible for my ancestors, and I shouldn't be responsible for what my great great grandfather did, and all these other things. Like, it's just so funny to me how we have all this grace and question marks for things when it comes to African Americans in reparations, but for other groups, other races, it's kind of like, oh, here's a check. Here, every year you're going to get this check, or every X amount of time you're going to get this check. Because what COVID has taught us is that when we need money, we got it.
We always find money.
We always find the money, but
because there's some big numbers being thrown out there for like infrastructure, for like COVID relief and American Rescue Plans. It's some big ass numbers out there.
Come on now.
I think we got to take a whole episode to dive into that, because it's one of those things where I think I know the reason why it's like that. But I mean, because man, it's crazy. I think that's a long episode. Because when you really think about it, we talk about acknowledging wrong. We're not talking about even making payments yet. We're really talking about just acknowledging some wrongs, right? We've come back on reparations. We just like, hey, acknowledge slavery, acknowledge that y'all wiped off some really productive American cities.
Not just one. Tulsa was one of many.
Well, yeah, one of many. So we just want the acknowledgement first, and then we can start working on reparations. Which is funny, because I think that you can make reparations happen, and you can do it in a way that it doesn't actually cost the federal government any money. So,
like I said, Sam, they've been making payments for years. This is nothing new. This is absolutely nothing new. But hey, Black people, even though we won't pay you reparations, and we want to stop talking about slavery and not teaching the actual dark and heinous side of enslaved Africans and what happened, we're going to give you a holiday that you already probably been celebrating. And this holiday is only acknowledging that you're free, when technically you were free 2 years before this. Because they didn't tell everyone, because they still wanted to profit off of slavery. So here you go, Black people. Here's a bone. Enjoy it. Go to your barbecues and whatnot and have a good day. Like, that's what it literally feels like. That's what I'm not saying that it's not an important holiday. What I'm saying is, it is your teardrop in the bucket of what could actually be done and should be done.
Yeah, I think as we kind of like go forward in this country, and we start putting things in place and looking at the world, and I do think it's going to be some type of reckoning. I don't know what that reckoning looks like, though, because it does feel like we're teetering a little bit, right? It does feel that way. So it's going to be some type of reckoning. I just don't know, does that come from the federal government, or does that come from people?
Yeah, we don't know where the source yet.
Yeah, I don't know the source yet. So, but we definitely gonna get into that, because on the next episode, I'm definitely talking about this chicken wing shortage and where that came from, how that happened, and why I'm pissed about it.
And what's Joe Biden's plan on, reducing the cost of gas and oxtail?
Ooh.
Because I swear to God, I was gonna. Like even lamb done gone up. The price of the brick has definitely gone up. I literally went to the store to get some lamb, and I was like, I've never had to pay $20 for a pack of lamb.
Dude, I'm like, is Stringer Bell running the grocery department now? What is going on?
Well, that's Marlo. Marlo said the price of the brick gone up. Marlo running the.
Yeah, but Stringer was like, we back up. Get the word out.
Marlo running things, man.
Yeah, Marlo is running things.
Look, We got to get into this private sector. We need to see what's going on in there because man, it took me $42 to fill up. Now, granted, yeah, I have an SUV, but 42,
Man, I'm gonna tell
and
you
I wasn't
something.
even on. My light wasn't even on. I think I
So
might have been at a quarter a tank.
so I've been doing a deep dive on gas prices and chicken wing prices, and it's a lot of similarities and like common denominators in this situation. So I'm gonna talk about it on the next episode though. I'm gonna do that on the next
All
episode
right, we bring
because
it back next
I
week.
really
You bring
want
it
to
back
get a
next
deep dive of this because this shit is like really irritating me.
Yeah, I really want to know what's going on here and if I need to start hoarding chicken wings.
I won't say that I'm not buying chickens from Tractor Supply. I'm not saying that I'm buying them. I'm not saying that I'm putting them at my granddaddy land. I'm not saying that at all, but I,
but
I
but the thought is there.
eggs are being laid. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, look. Now look, I'm not gonna lie to you because I
No,
may pull up the wing stop for them thighs. I tell you no lie because
you know
I love me a good piece of chicken thigh. So
the
you know,
problem with the chickens, like with my family, the problem with us with our chickens is we feeding the chickens, getting them big, but my little cousin, like
she
she
don't want to
keeps
kill them.
naming them. She keeps
Yeah,
naming the damn
they,
chickens,
they
and
formed
now
an attachment and they don't want to kill them. Yeah. That's it. Mom, you know, God bless the dead. My mom, she grew up in the country, right? So when it was time for dinner, you know, mama would say, "Hey, go get a chicken for dinner." She would have a hard time doing it. Whereas my aunt, her sister, would go out there, grab the chicken, wring its neck, pop it, and then you know you got to get the plucking, and now
right,
you pepper the chicken, right?
right.
Like my mama said, she could never do it. She
It
could
just
never do it. Now, mind you, I don't think I could either. But if it's between me living and eating, if I got a choice if I'm gonna eat or not, you know, that chicken gonna have to, you know,
I,
say
I've
the chicken prayers.
I've thought about these doomsday scenarios and how they're gonna work out. And I gotta be honest with you, Nikki. I think I need to go out on the first like 2 or 3 days, maybe in the first couple hours. Like I think the only thing that's gonna keep me going is the fact I have to let my son live. But if he go before I go, I'm definitely going right after him. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right.
I don't want to live through the rapture. Y'all can have it. Like have that.
Yeah, y'all got it.
Y'all bunker
Y'all
up.
got it.
I'm out.
I'm chilling. Y'all got it. Like
Like,
you,
Nick, think about living in a house with no AC during a hot ass summer.
I don't want to. I
That's
don't
what I'm
want to
trying to
think
tell
about
you.
it.
That's what I'm trying to
I
tell
don't
you.
want to think about it.
No, it's just terrible. Like you look at Walking Dead. When the last time did Michonne even take a bath? Like you don't even know.
You don't know. You don't know.
You
Like,
don't
okay,
know.
look, I'm gonna get started. I ain't even gonna do that. You know, we got a good hour in today. So good reconnecting with you. Absolutely. Thank you for letting me pontificate and elaborate because I can get extremely verbose and tangential. So I appreciate you.
Those are
You know,
awesome
anything
words. I'm
else you
writing them
wanna?
down.
Yeah, you know, go ahead and add that to your vernacular there.
Uh huh.
Anything else before we out of here?
No, man, we're gonna get these episodes pumping out to y'all. I think we was talking about Wednesdays or Mondays, just depending on when we record. We try to get them out the next day. Um, and that's it. And we
That's
out. I
it,
mean,
y'all. Thank y'all for joining us around so what's next where we talk about topics that you care about today and probably won't even remember tomorrow. We
just
out.
like the Lakers. The Laker fans need to start talking about topics that happened yesterday, today. Every playoff game, we don't need to talk about the Lakers and LeBron James after every playoff game. We don't need
This
to do
is
that.
not Skip Bayless.
We don't need to do it.
We don't.
Say, I'll have a good day.
I've been wide awake for about a month now, grinding it up. Mama done told me nothing easy, like, boy, get your ass up. True enough, I put in the work now. Blessings counted up. Look at them haters frowning up, so I flex to rile them up. Hey, look at my boss, spending the cars, check my flaws. You can ignore, come to the house, give you a tour, take your shoes and dirt on my floor. I let it taste good. She with more, she with more. I let it rain, the blessings coming in pour. Yeah, I spent the bag on the bundle. Turn around and take